You may think you've heard it all about behind-the-scenes hookups and secret affairs. But nothing comes close to this. In an exclusive tear-filled live stream that has gone viral, Erica looked straight into the camera with trembling lips and fire in her eyes and said the words no one ever expected. "I was in a secret relationship with Menzies." The internet went crazy instantly. But that wasn't the start of this shocking turn of events that has left fans completely stunned. Last but not least, Erica wasn't finished, because what she revealed next didn't just upend the table, completely turned it upside down. According to Erica, not only were they secretly in love, but she also had his child. A child was kept in the dark while fans frantically tried to piece together the timeline, and celebrities started to weigh in with cryptic posts. The drama only got worse, and Yandy was left in the dark about all of this. Mendici was concealing a whole second family. And why? Erica Mena's words echoed like an explosion that had been subtly building in the background for years. "I was in a relationship with Menzies. I confessed in a trembling voice that we were serious and that we had a baby. I'm not hiding it anymore. Is enough enough?" Did Erica choose to reveal the truth now? The internet erupted in chaos the moment Mena dropped the bombshell on her live stream. Fans who had been following every move of Erica Menzi and Yandy were left speechless, trying to process what they had just heard. The truth was far messier than anyone could have imagined. This was no ordinary drama, not a simple feud between two women over a man, but a revelation of betrayal, secrets, and hidden lives that rocked the very foundation of reality television. No one saw coming, but all of the past few seasons of Love and Hip Hop suddenly began to make sense. The little moments, strange looks, late-night phone calls, and hidden tension had all been signs. The story started long before this scandalous live stream, according to her, during the lowest points of his on and off relationship with Yandy. A man who had always been in the spotlight found comfort in Erica. She said it started innocently as two people finding solace in each other's company during turbulent times. Erica explained in a soft but determined voice that we just clicked. It was supposed to be just friends, but one thing led to another, and soon we were more than that. The relationship had begun in secret over phone calls, texts, and late-night rendezvous where the cameras couldn't record them. Erica's anguish over breakup with Safri was still fresh, and Menzi's legal battles threatened to destroy his world. In their vulnerability, they found each other, but it wasn't just casual conversations. As time went on, things became more intense, and Erica says Menzi confided in her that things with Yandy were essentially over. He would frequently say, "I'm done with. I wanted to believe him," Erica said, her eyes welling with tears, "because he was everything I needed at the time. He told me he loved me. He made me feel like I was the one he wanted." At first, she didn't want to believe him, but he was convincing, telling her that his bond with Yandy had been nothing but a public charade. He even promised her that he was going to step away from the relationship, that he would make a clean break for them to be together. Was destined to be together, but it was all a lie. Or at least that's what Erica thinks. They have since carried on their affair behind closed doors. And Erica says there were even intimate moments that were kept secret from Yandy and the public. However, when Erica learned she was pregnant, everything changed, and she was scared and unsure of what to do. Her fear wasn't just about being pregnant, it was about the consequences, and she didn't want to be involved in the drama. When she told Menezes, however, his reaction startled her. Did not panic when she disclosed that he was unable to leave. In fact, he stayed and assured me, "Don't worry, we'll make this work." For a brief moment, everything appeared to be going well, with Mendes supporting her and even accompanying her to doctor's appointments. Erica felt as though she was living in a bubble, thinking that the man she had fallen for was finally stepping up. But the bubble burst when she saw Menzi and Yandy on a red carpet together, grinning for the cameras. Even though nothing had ever happened, Erica was left heartbroken and blindsided by the cold reality that he was acting as though she didn't exist. He simply forgot about us, she said bitterly, and he returned to Yandy as if nothing had happened, as if I didn't exist, or our baby didn't exist. At that point, Erica started to wonder if men had truly cared about her, and if he had been honest, why would he return to Yandy without hesitation? The betrayal was painful, but it wasn't just about the man she loved. It was about his family. Built with Yandy, and it hurt even more because, whether she realized it or not, Yandy had been a part of their lives. However, the way Yandy handled the situation made it even more complicated. According to Erica, Yandy knew that Erica had always suspected something was wrong. And one day, she confronted Erica. The confrontation showed up at my door. Erica remembered her voice, shaking with the memory. Instead of screaming or yelling, she simply looked at me and said, "I knew. I always knew. You think I didn't see it? You think I didn't know?" Erica was taken aback by the composure in Yandy's voice, saying, wiping her eyes, she was mad at him. She told me, "I knew he would do this, but I didn't think you would be." Part of it. Yandy's response wasn't one of shock, but rather a cold, resigned acknowledgement of something that had been festering for a long time. Erica claims that Yandy left the confrontation after promising not to share it publicly, saying, "If this gets out, it will destroy everything. Will destroy him, destroy the kids, destroy everything we've built." The secret was kept hidden for years under layers of family photos, social media posts, and messages. When Erica's baby was born, Mem was there, but not for long. According to Erica, he came to the hospital, held the baby for a short while, kissed his forehead, and then vanished again as soon as he had arrived. "I didn't hear from him for weeks," she added. In the scripted drama for Love and Hip Hop, both women played their parts in front of the cameras, pretending that everything was fine. Erica boldly declared, "I'm not hiding anymore." We are not hiding anymore. Her words sent shockwaves through the media, igniting debates, theories, and fan reactions. Years later, with everything revealed, Erica was no longer afraid. She had kept the secret for so long, but now she wanted the world to know the truth. He couldn't just walk around acting like nothing happened. And celebrities. But as the storm continued, there was still one question. How would Yandy react? Fans were anxiously awaiting her to speak up because they wanted clarification and answers. They wanted to know if Yandy was just as much of a victim as Erica, or if there was more to the story than anyone could possibly understand. But instead of answers, there was silence, and that silence was deafening, which is where part of the mystery lies. Where is Yandy in all of this? What will she do next? Is this drama really over, or is it just the start of something even bigger? While Erica was holding nothing back, she revealed the truth in that live stream, exposing the hidden relationship, the betrayal, and the baby that no one had known about. And while the world waited for Mena to make his move, fans, celebrities, and even his closest friends were all wondering why he remained silent. His silence was loud, it spoke volumes, and it was only fueling the fire. However, the questions didn't stop there. People wanted more. Demanded answers from Mendes, Yandy, and all those involved. It was a bombshell that had left the entire industry in shock. But what would happen next? She wasn't trying to ruin anyone's life. Rather, she was about finally owning her truth. She had spent years in the shadows, silently enduring the pain, feeling as though she was a part of a lie that she didn't even sign up for. The system as a whole had wronged her, not just Mena's, and allowed the lies to continue while maintaining the family image intact while Erica and their child were disregarded. "I can't keep living like I'm some side piece, some afterthought," Erica said. During her tearful live stream, "I'm not a villain. I was just trying to protect myself and my child, but I'm not going to protect his lies anymore." And that's when everything changed. Her courage to speak up caused a wave of support to sweep through the reality TV world, and her fans and supporters flocked to social media, calling her. The following day, after Erica's live stream, The silence was finally broken by none other than Yandy Smith Harris herself. Yandy had always been known for her calm, calculated demeanor. She rarely reacted impulsively, and this time when she spoke, it was with purpose. However, while Erica's audience stood by her side, Yandy's supporters were silent, waiting and wondering what Yandy would do next. Posted a mysterious yet chilling statement on her Instagram saying, "There's always more to the story than what's being told, but the truth will come out when it's meant to. The only thing that matters now is my family and the future we're building." Fans were left in disbelief. Did she validate Erica's claims, or was this an indirect statement that could deflect the accusations? No one knew, but it was obvious that Yandy wasn't going to give up easily, and her cryptic remarks only made people wonder more. As the days passed, Mine's silence remained deafening. Some conjectured that he was waiting for the accusations to subside before speaking, while others thought he was attempting to preserve his family's reputation at all costs. However, the longer he remained silent, the more people started to question his sincerity, and just when the pressure seemed too much, a new twist emerged. An anonymous source close to Mendisk and Yandy revealed a recorded private conversation that allegedly occurred months ago between Mena and Yandy. The recording was shared on various gossip websites and featured the child saying, "I never meant for it to go this far. I made a mistake, but it's done now. I don't want to lose everything because of it." Yandy's response was icy and calculated. I know you did what you did, but I'm not playing these games with you anymore. You've already lost me, and you've lost her too. There's no turning back from this." The leak sent shockwaves through social media. Fans who weren't sure what to believe before but now had unquestionable proof that Menzies had known about the situation all along. It wasn't just a minor slip-up, but an ongoing affair that had lasted far longer than everyone was upset when Yandy found out about Malik's fallout. And the worst part was that everyone seemed to be picking sides. Some defended Yandy, claiming that she had every right to be upset and that she was only attempting to protect her family, while others sided with Erica, accusing Mendices of using both women for their own gain and manipulating them for years, without facing any real consequences. Finally, just when it seemed like the world was split, Mendices broke his silence, but his words only made matters worse. Mendices addressed the scandal in a video that was posted to his Instagram account. But rather than apologizing or making a heartfelt statement, he defensive and dismissive. "People don't understand what it's like," he said in a flat tone, "but it's easy to judge from the outside. But you don't know the real story. I've made mistakes, but I've also tried to fix them. I'm not perfect, and neither are any of us." Fans were furious and felt deceived, not only by his statements. The tension between Yandy and Erica Mendisk was at an all-time high, and social media was ablaze with emotional reactions as Yandy's fans fiercely defended her, and Erica's supporters continued to applaud her for finally speaking her truth. However, the real question was what would happen to Erica next. And Mena's lack of accountability seemed to deflect responsibility, as though the entire situation was just something to be swept under the rug. "I'm not doing this for the likes, the comments, or the attention," Erica said firmly. "I'm doing this for my son. He deserves the truth just like I do." By revealing the hidden relationship, it was about taking back control of her life and the narrative that had been written. For her, she wasn't just a victim in this story. She was a woman who had taken charge, and now she was determined to make sure her child would not be erased from the story, no matter how much Yandy or Meanies tried to hide the truth. In this high-stakes drama, the question now was whether Minik and Yandy would finally face the consequences of their actions, or if they would continue to live in denial and try to maintain a picture-perfect family image while the cracks in their facade widened. The fallout from Mendice's video was swift and unforgiving, and fans who had previously been undecided were now taking sides with a vengeance. The story, which had begun as a whispered rumor, had grown into a full-fledged media frenzy, and Erica remained firm in the midst of all of this, unrepentant for her choice to come clean. But even as she gained support, she started to face new obstacles. The most important question on everyone's mind was whether Menzi and Yandy would finally come clean. Or would they keep lying in the hopes that the storm would pass for Erica? It wasn't just about the truth anymore. It was about survival, because she knew the stakes were high and the hip-hop world was full of manipulation and backstabbing. She had witnessed it happen to others before, but this time she wasn't just an outsider. She was in the center of the scandal and knew it would make or break her. "I've spent my life being afraid of losing love, losing trust, and losing respect. But I'm not doing that anymore," Erica stated in one of her interviews. She wasn't the same woman who had entered the scene all those years ago, naive and full of hope. Instead, she was a force to be reckoned with, and those who attempted to bring her down would see just how strong she was. Meanwhile, Menzi's silence was getting intolerable after his initial video. As he didn't post anything else, not even a tweet or an update on his one fan tweeted, "He messed up, and now he's acting like he didn't." He can't even stand up and take accountability. If he really loved Erica, he'd step up for his son, but instead he's hiding behind Yandy's skirts. It seemed like he was hiding on Instagram while trying to figure out how to handle the mess he had created. But it was becoming obvious that the longer he remained silent, the more people started to lose respect for him. Read after affair revelation, Men DC remained silent. Fans demanded answers, which only increased the pressure on him. Whether he wanted to or not, he had become the villain in this story. However, in the midst of all the chaos, Yandy's next move shocked everyone. Instead of publicly confronting Erica or speaking to the media directly, Yandy went into damage control mode and posted a series of photos of her family, including her children and Mena's. The captions were vague but incredibly emotional, stating that family is everything. "I'll fight for my family no matter what." It was obvious that Yandy was attempting to project a strong image, demonstrating that she was standing tall and defending her family in spite of everything that had surfaced. However, the response from her fans was far from encouraging, with many viewing it as an attempt to hide the truth and act as though nothing had happened. One of her followers wrote, "How can you say family is everything when your husband betrayed? You like this? He betrayed you, Yandy. He betrayed both of you." And now the tension between Yandy and Erica was evident. It was no longer just a fight for NBC's affections. Rather, it was a fight for the truth and the public media. And fans were all watching to see who would come clean first. Would Yandy confess that she was aware of the affair, or would DC finally take responsibility for his actions? But it wasn't just about them. The scandal was beginning to spread to the other relationships on the show, Friends of Men. And Yandy started to asterisk during a particularly tense episode of the reunion show. The cast members sat together, and the question was raised of who knew what and when. It wasn't just directed at Erica or Menzies, but also at everyone who had been part of the situation, who had seen the cracks in the relationship between Menzies and Yandy, who had known that Erica and Menzies were involved, and, most importantly, who had been covering up the situation. Some of them distanced themselves, while others showed support for Erica. While others remained loyal to Yandy, the room went silent for the sake of the performance. As everyone waited for someone to speak, Yandy was clearly tense and avoided making eye contact with anyone. She had heard the rumors and knew what people were saying about her, but she wasn't going to let anyone put her in a corner. "I don't mean to explain myself to anyone," she said, in a low but firm voice. But even as she said those words, Erica's voice rang out. "What happens behind closed doors is between me and my husband. I've been through a lot, and I will keep fighting for my family." Erica turned to face her and said, "Yandy." She was louder and more certain than ever. "You know what happened? You know what Meneses did? Don't act like you didn't see the signs. Don't act like this is all a surprise. I'm done protecting him. It's time for you to face the truth." The exchange was intense, The tension was thick, and you could feel the weight of the situation on everyone in the room. However, just as it seemed like something would finally cut the cameras, fans were left wondering what would happen. In the weeks that followed, Mendeecees's silence became deafening. He didn't reply to Yandy's emotional posts or react to Erica's ongoing revelations. Instead, he just vanished from the public eye, leaving fans to wonder if he was waiting for the storm to pass or if GI had lost everything in the process. Would Yandy finally acknowledge the truth next? Would Mendeecees step up and make things right? Or would Erica's revelation be the last word in this agonizing saga? As the days went by, it became evident that the truth had a way of coming out no matter how much people tried to hide it. Erica had no intention of backing down. She had started this battle and was going to finish it at any cost. "I'm not going anywhere," she declared. She also continued to post about her family, continuing to play the role of a supportive wife. But no matter how many pictures she posted of Mendeecees and their kids, the cracks in their relationship were becoming more obvious. Continued to escalate the controversy surrounding Erica, Mena, Mendeecees, and Yandy. The public was worn out, the fans were furious, and the silence from Mendeecees and Yandy was only making matters worse. However, what everyone seemed to forget was that there was still one more twist. One last confrontation that would either end the family's entire existence or start the protracted process of rebuilding for Erica. There was no going back. She had already revealed the affair and the baby. And she had shown the world that Mendeecees's ideal family image wasn't what it seemed. In the weeks that followed, Erica remained strong and continued to share updates on social media about her journey. As a single mother, demonstrating her strength and proudly raising her son, her fans continuously offered support. But she knew deep down that her fight wasn't just against Men and Yandy, but also against the entire system that had made her feel like an insignificant side character in someone else's drama. No matter how much time passed, it became evident that the damage had been done. Fans who had previously supported him were now doubting his integrity, and his inability to publicly take responsibility only widened the gulf between him and his followers. His continued silence was having a negative impact on his social media presence, as both colleagues and fans noticed. Some conjectured that he was trying to mend his relationship with Yandy in private, while others thought he was waiting for the right opportunity to address the controversy. The more she tried to hide the flaws in her relationship with Mendeecees, the more people noticed that she was struggling to maintain the image she had worked so hard to build with her posts about family, love, and loyalty. Some wondered how long she would keep pretending that everything was fine, while others thought she was just playing for the cameras. Then, when the moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived during an emotional reunion special on Love and Hip Hop, the tension that had been building beneath the surface came to a head. Sensing the intensity of the situation, the host asked the group to address the elephant in the room. "It's time for everyone to speak your truth," he said. Mendeecees, Yandy, Erica. This has been a long and difficult journey for everyone involved, but it's time for closure. The public deserves to know where you all stand. The audience was on the edge of their seats, and for a brief moment, the anticipation was hanging in the air. Then, everything went silent, and Mendeecees, who had been avoiding the cameras for weeks, stood up. His face was exhausted, and his eyes were downcast as he started to speak. "I made mistakes," Mendy acknowledges in an honest tone. "I failed both of these women, and I hurt people. I didn't own up to it. I wasn't the man I was supposed to be." Before continuing, he paused to take a big breath. "Yandy, Erica, I apologize. I should have told you both the truth from the start, but instead I tried to hide everything. I was selfish, and for that I'm truly sorry." The audience fell silent. Although the apology was long overdue, it was a moment of clarity for everyone. As Mendeecees' words hung in the air for the first time in months, The real shock, however, came when Yandy spoke next. For weeks, she had been silent while the drama played out around her, but this time she wasn't hiding. Her voice was steady but full of emotion as she addressed the camera. "It's not just about men," Yandy said. "It's about me. I've been through a lot. And I've allowed people to. The tension in the room was high for the first time. And both Men's and Yandy acknowledged their roles in the mess they had created. I remained silent because I didn't want to be the villain. And I didn't want to air our dirty laundry, but it's time to stop pretending and stop protecting the lies." Her eyes locked with Mena's, and we both made a mistake. "I'm not proud of how I handled things, but I'm not the only one who was hurt in this. And I'm not the only one who had to deal with the consequences. I spent years hiding in the shadows, fearing that if the truth came out, but now I'm done hiding. I'm done pretending you all want the truth here," Erica said, speaking in a strong, unwavering voice. The room fell silent, as if everyone knew that this was the moment that would define everything. Erica had been waiting for this moment, for the truth to be heard, for the narrative to be flipped, and for her pain to finally be validated. She looked at Yandy and Hugh and said, "You weren't the innocent party here either. You knew what was going on, and you chose to stay silent. You chose to protect him, to protect the image, to protect everything. You told me we were going to be together," she said, "but when it came time to step up, you ran." Everyone in the room was silent as they processed what they had just heard for years. The room erupted in applause as some stood in support of Erica, while others remained silent, unsure of where to place their loyalty. Yandy and Mena's gazes had presented themselves as the ideal couple, the epitome of love and loyalty, but now the facade was shattered. "I'm not doing this for the drama," Erica continued. "I'm doing this for my son because he deserves to know the truth, Kit, that his mother was never at fault, and that no matter how chaotic life gets, he will always have someone fighting for him, and nothing could undo it." The following day, the headlines were all over the place. Erica Mena exposes love triangle men, DC and Yandy's dark secret revealed. The media was ablaze, and everyone was waiting to see what would happen next. Would Mena and Yandy remain together, or would the truth split them apart forever? And what about Erica? Since she had exposed the lie, the family seemed to never be the same again. But one thing was certain: the truth had been revealed, and the world would never again view them in the same way as the dust settled. One thing is certain about this explosive revelation: nothing will ever be the same again. The previously tightly controlled narrative surrounding Mena and his past has been shattered. And Erica Mena's decision to come forward has revealed a secret so profound that it has left fans, family, and the entire world in a state of high emotions and strained relationships. Additionally, a child may be at the center of one of the most shocking scandals in the history of love and hip-hop, regardless of whether that blurb actually happened. When the certificate is fully revealed, the damage is already done. Trust is broken, reputations are scarred, and fans are demanding answers that may never come. However, the questions remain. Will Mena and DC finally come clean? Can Yandy forgive such a large betrayal? And what will happen to Erica next? Will she find closure, or will there be more chaos? We've seen love and hip-hop bring the drama time and time again, but this time it feels deeper and more real. When it's your moment to speak, what do?